There we go. Here we are. All right, let's start distributing out the links. Nope, stop that. YouTube Studio. Let's see if our first person in is Nova, who is always there first. Link time to start sending it out. Boop. 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 And okay. No, stop that. Let us get into the game. A little bit. So it's deafening me, and now we do wait. Where am I? Okay. Haven't done Ilrath, haven't done Dash, haven't done Wait. Probably could do the Brood, probably could do the Dash, the other things. But first we wait a little bit to see who will come and join us. It's Nova! Nova always is the first one in! How you doing, Nova? Without fail, Nova is the first one in and the first one to comment. I hope you're having a phenomenal day. Oh, I'm over here in Beetlejuice. I have to actually head back to Song. I honestly have no idea how many people actually are viewing. I have a little view counter, but it says I have 0 viewers. I'm doing really, really well, Nova. I had a great day. Me and my wife went out and did some shopping. We're gonna have some company over tonight, and tomorrow I'm gonna be doing my Transformers tabletop RPG with all my buddies. So it's gonna be a really, really good day tomorrow. It's gonna be a good day tonight. I love doing dinner parties. Instruction. Boom. Yeah, free resources. Gotta love it. Okay. So, I have no idea how many people are actually viewing. It's just a little interesting. I wish there was a way for me to actually see. According to this, I guess it's just really slow. That's fine. I don't care if I have one person or no people. I just love to have people here. Yep. So it's been last week was really, really quiet. I had a nice calm week, only a little bit of work drama, which is a nice change of pace. Goodness gracious. Hoping to get a lot of progress in on this game today. Maybe even complete it. I have about 2 or 3 hours free before I have to go around and start getting things ready for dinner. You did your first super chat. Who was? I assume that was to Habitual Line Crosser. Now, Habitual Line Crosser is wholesome as hell. I think I've never met anyone who doesn't. I've never met anybody who doesn't like him, who has a brain in their heads.
I hope the battle. The analysis subject: show fixity maidens.
The show fixity, yes! I'm actually super glad you're here for this, Nova.
All in young adulthood. Subjects appear to be in good condition, with little or no freezer burn or other degeneration. Hibernation maintenance units are functioning normally, and resuscitation equipment is easily activated. Summary: we can wake them, but why? What should we tell them? That they're an extinct species? Until such a time as we feel we can induce artificial parthenogenesis or otherwise give the Shofixties sexual viability, our recommendation is to keep them as they are, asleep. That's the end of our scientist's report.
Oh, Nova, you're gonna love the Shofixty. They are so cool. They are the best. Probably one of my favorite races in the game. Tank up the ship. Modules, shipyard. Remember. Let us indeed go. Okay. The Delta Gorno. And we're gonna cause a civil war! So, if you spend the time learning more about the deep lore about this game, there's a reason why the Yehat and humanity are actually very, very close allies before the events of this game, because in reality, the Shofixti and the Yehat and humanity have a kind of a special bond, because unlike most of the other races in the galaxy, humanity wasn't uplifted by another race. And the only other race that really wasn't, that we're aware of, was the Yehat. And the Yehat felt a sort of kinship with humanity as a result. So they've always been very close. They've been very close allies for a very long time. And also helps that their ships fight very effectively alongside one another. But here we are at Delta Gorno. And we get to have what I like to think is probably some of the best writing that the game has ever done. Assuming I can find the little jerk. The world is... It looks tasty. Oh, Metal World. Oh hell yeah! Let's take advantage of all these metals. Oh dear, angry mice. Oh, very angry mice. Come on. Uranium. Angry mice. Good amount of resources out of it. Nothing wrong with that. Definitely need it. We still need resource units. Hey Jeff, how you doing? Happy days and jubilation! Absolutely. Oh man, that is a horrible metal world. Jeff, you have joined us for one of the most important elements of the game. I am in Delta Gorno, and we are going to interact with the Shofixti.
Attention, huge Aryan vessel. Though most of my sensory instruments are malfunctioning, my mass indicator shows the huge size of your vessel, revealing you are none other than a disgusting Ur-Quan Masters. I am the glorious Shofixti warrior, Tanaka. You killed my father, my mother, my many brothers, all 6 of my sisters. In fact, my entire species. Prepare to die.
So, normally you would anticipate the best way to respond to this is diplomatically. But instead, no, you have to insult them right back, which is, by the way, freaking amazing. No one insults us like that, you toothless piebald roof rabbit.
You rip, bloodless sack of decaying flesh, Ur-Quan. You die. Die!
Then you have to go into combat and then you have to run away. The whole point is to not attack him. Oh god, please don't kill yourself. Oh my god.
Ah, so the cowardly slug spawn has returned. You were most fortunate last time, you hideous, toothless freak. But this time, I shall surely destroy your vessel. You slithering eater of putrid hairballs.
I love the insults.
I will hang your withered reproductive organs from my posterior monitor.
Yeah, if he fell into the planet, it would be really sad. But thankfully they do have an emergency out. If he ever dies, you can talk to his brother Katana, which thankfully will spawn in the same system. But after that, you're SOL.
You flatulent Ur-Quan Masters. Why, you wallowing, phlegm-filled, grunty belly ricker, you... Hey, Ur-Quan never insulted me before. Who did you say you were?
And the fact that you can keep on insulting him. You idiot moron rat.
What a fool I am! When you failed to launch fighter craft, I should have guessed. Just one of those mistakes you make in war. Suddenly, your words ring in my ears. Captain, is this true? Have the Ur-Quan been destroyed? Has the ultimate sacrifice of my people resulted in freedom for the Alliance?
Shit out of Nova. SOL means shit out of luck.
I am a defeated warrior! A worthless shell! I must die! Right what? My race is dead. My world is an arid rock. And I've seen all my sunroms at least 100 times. My life is over. I have already picked up a nice asteroid to smash into, so if you don't mind, I'll just go and kill myself. Unless you want to annihilate me yourself. What might that be?
Again, the hilarious options here. I'll go with a lot better than fun ROMs.
Intrigued, good Captain. But what are you talking about? Great reaping mounds of happiness! You shall be honored forever, Captain, as the savior of the Sophisti race. I have been granted the ultimate reward, duty. This humble warrior will take the Sophisti maidens you possess, gently wake them, and then perform ribald feats of unsurpassed fertility. With their consent, of course. Our people shall be reborn. Your name shall be recorded in our most sacred writings for all time. Thank you, Captain, and farewell. I have urgent business to attend to.
Extremely urgent business. Now, the funny thing is that Shofixti effectively breed like psychotic rabbits, so you have to wait some time in game, but after that, they're back and you can get their ships, which is very important for things to happen later. So that gives us time to go and do other things. Let's go and get these resources for this world. Some silver, some uranium. I'm loving it. Okay. So now that we've gone and done that, a couple of choices. Let's go do... Okay, that's actually a really good question. Their ships are useful. Okay? In the campaign itself, yeah, they're very, very cheap. They are the definition of expendable because their special ability is a nuke. It just blows themselves up. They're very much a stereotype off of the kamikaze pilots of World War II. They if you are playing like PvP, they are very, very handy in the sense that if your enemy like busts out an Ur-Quan Dreadnought or a Korra Marauder or a Shimmer Avatar, you can throw in a cheap Kapixi Scout and cause a huge amount of damage, and then you can potentially kill it with other things. So it's weird how they're very useful in PvP, but in the campaign they're really meant for the story. I've already talked to Yehat, so that part is done. I think I'm gonna go and talk with the Druid, actually. We're kind of in that time where it's time to play around with the Druid, at least for a little bit. Let me get watch the space portal map. It's kind of a Druid sort of thing. Yeah, exactly. So, do I still have the? Yes, I have 2 egg cases. I don't think they do. I don't think they beat those shielding. I know that they do a lot to resist it, but I don't think they actually defeat the shielding. I think that's it. Yeah, Epsilon Persei. There we go. And now we get to meet a race that did how do I describe the Druid? They are the kind of evil that that Star Trek tried to make the Ferengi out to be and failed heinously. I think this is the bright red world of the moon. I think this is it. Nope, I am wrong. Yeah. So the Druge are... I mentioned this in a prior stream. The Druge really are the example of evil that is so evil, not necessarily because of an ideological reason to be evil like the Ilrath. Because the Ilrath are evil because, for religious reasons. The Druge are evil because it's profitable.
Greetings, friend and fellow explorer. I'm an officer of the Crimson Corporation. We are the Druge. We are delighted to make your acquaintance and hope that we can do business together. Should your desires be similar, please hurry to our main trading world at Zeta Persei 1. More than a culture, Captain. We are an organization. The Crimson Corporation. Our corporation seeks only to improve our quality of life, and does so via the dribble-down effect. Until...
yeah. They are a gross caricature. Make no mistake. Alpha... Iota... Yep. Delta... Gamma... Beta Persei. Everything on the Crimson Corporation is a commodity. That includes oxygen you breathe. The ships they have very bad reactors, so you can boost your reactor output by throwing people into the reactor. Yeah. It is very much, if Gene Roddenberry wanted the Ferengi to actually be evil, this is how they would have done it.
Alien starship.
have arrived at the central trade world of the Crimson Corporation, home of the Druge. Be welcome and take advantage of
It is a global monopoly.
deal. We know that you have Mycon Deep Child egg case fragments aboard your vessel. Would you consider trading them to us for a shiny new Muller starship? Our sensors reveal that you have one of our more powerful hyperwave casters on board your ship. Have no fear, Captain. It was abandoned on the Bervixi moon, and by our law, it belongs to you. However, we are fond of the device and wish to regain it through trade. Give us the caster, and we will give you all the fuel your ship can hold. We note you possess the Vortex Spawner. In exchange for the simple device, we will give you 3 Muller starships, and fill your fuel tanks at no extra charge. This is the heart of our operation, the vital core of the Crimson.
So to make it to make a point, this is technically not a murderous capitalist. This is technically a plutocracy.
You would be wise to take advantage of all our services, Captain. You will not find better deals anywhere. We are prepared to make a deal.
So okay, this is the most
Special
important
deal.
thing.
A bargain unequaled. Instead of the usual payment we would give for this item, what would you say to a different exchange?
Oh, absolutely. There's no guarantee. Just because the Melnorme have a more ethical exchange method does not mean they are necessarily moral actors. And that's one of the reasons why I like the Melnorme. They are left ambiguous to the core, and I like that.
Its genesis is lost in antiquity, along with the race who created it, the marvelous precursors. Note how the device glows, how it throbs, pulsing slowly, bright, then dark, like the heart of a slumbering god. Captain, this artifact has been in our possession for eons.
If you wanted an example of a race in this game that are actually the true capitalists, it would be the Melnorme, now that I think about it.
Here today is quite unique. Do not.
Okay.
Very
Else from these guys?
returns.
Yeah, because they made that was one thing that I didn't like about the Ferengi. They made them cowardly, which they shouldn't have. Quark in Deep Space Nine should have been far more representative. Quark should have been more representative of the Ferengi instead of making them all just sniveling sniveling cowards. The Ferengi should have been far more vicious businessmen. But they made them kind of a joke, and then, of course, then Quark came out and said, hey, between our two civilizations, only one of them has had mass genocides and atrocities. We never did that. And that was, I think, one of the better moments of writing for Star Trek. Because for so much of the time, the Federation is basically depicted as this perfect, peaceful, everybody loves us situation. Yeah, Quark was absolutely a well-acted diplomatic coward, but Quark also demonstrated absolute confidence so long as he was in a position of stability. But because he was a comic relief character, he very rarely was in that area of stability. But yeah, when the Ferengi were able to basically dab on the Federation for not having the bloody
Hello,
history
Captain.
of the Federation, it was actually, to me, one of
Like
the better
love this
parts of
time,
writing
Captain.
because we spend so much time berating the Ferengi, and yet they have a vastly more, ultimately a more moral society. Yeah, exactly, Jeff. He definitely projected confidence. That's very true. But yeah, that's also true. It's exactly what a good merchant does.
The analysis reads as follows. Subject, rosy sphere device. Data, the specimen is 5 centimeters in diameter, perfectly smooth and composed of a blood-red translucent substance. Tests show that it has atypical ferromagnetic properties, but is utterly non-conductive. Summary, probably a precursor tool. Function,
Hey,
unknown.
how old do you think I am,
That's the
Nova?
end
I'm
of our
40. I
scientist
have
report.
all of the old buzzwords, and I refuse to use the new ones. I'm going to start using all
Return
the
to-
stuff from my childhood. Just to annoy the kiddies. All right, we have the rosy sphere. We need the aqua helix. So guess what? It's time to go to the Thredash. You don't have to hate your generation, man. I think that's fair. The only thing that they should have done differently with Quark is they should have gotten rid of his brother. I'm not a fan of what they did with Rom. Yep. All right. Need I actually need I. If they kept Rom as a bumbling incompetent instead of trying to turn him into a communist reformer, I would have been much happier. Not all Zoomers are bad, dude. That is so. What do you mean? Clarify, Nova. What do you mean? Why not both? Yeah, Rom was. I liked it when Rom found that he was a good engineer, and then began doing something with his life and being a good dad. Yeah, I would say that you are evidence that not all Zoomers are bad, Nova, and all you have to do is be productive with your life.
So, what's this? An unknown alien species. How wonderful. Someone new to fight. We, the Thredash of Culture 19, famous Ur-Quan combat grounds, know well the value of a good fight. Either you win and prove your superiority, or you lose and are vanquished. If the vanquished is lucky, it may survive to learn an important lesson from its defeat. This is the way of the Thredash. We fight and learn and improve. All other cultural schemes are inferior. This is a proven fact. What have you to say before we begin combat? Hostility? Har, har, har. We are not hostile. Hostility is unwarranted aggression. If you want to know about hostility, let us tell you about Culture 12. Culture 12 was so hostile that while they were on their way to their first great battle, Ur-Quan, the Battle Master, stepped on Nusco, the tactician's foot, causing him great pain. The annoyed Nusco turned on his Battle Master, Ur-Quan, and sliced his body in half. This miffed Ur-Quan's troops, who took it upon themselves to murder Nusco and his elite troops. The real trouble started when now dead Ur-Quan Masters Sergeants Mood and Putt started arguing about how to kill Nusco. Simple crucifixion or the slower lead tattoo technique. The argument was resolved when Mood and his 500 troops were slaughtered by Putt and his gang. Well, this probably all would have gone down in history as a great day of learning for Culture 12, were it not for the surprise arrival of Culture 12's original enemy, the Yajog and his cronies, who wiped out Culture 12's army, thus beginning the long and glorious Culture 13. Now that's hostility. We, on the other hand, merely want to kill you. Talk, blah, talk is for sissies. Weaklings like those of Culture 14. For 10,000 years, we Dragash have fought and died, learned and improved. Then, along came Culture 14, which claimed that all this perfect method was wrong. That each time we violently transformed to a new culture, we inevitably blasted ourselves back at least 500 years in development. Some people just cannot accept the cost of progress. Indeed, the foolishness of Culture 14's peaceful whining was revealed when they were conquered by Culture 15 after only a 10-year reign. And did the change to Culture 15 set us back 500 years? No, 2, maybe 300 years tops. The short span of Culture 14's reign is objective proof that as a way of life, peace is a failure. What? More talk? It amazes me that you ever got out of the orbit of your home planet. Yak, yak, yak. Yammer, yammer, yammer. Very well, we will talk for a moment. Our Culture 19 is the most formidable ever to appear in Dragash space. Admittedly, we said something similar about Culture 18, but it is true.
That depends, Nova, if they use a Earth standard or the planet standard.
Subsequent enslavement, we realized that it was time for a change. A new culture had to be established. So of course, we began a thermonuclear exchange to decide who would lead this new culture. We were all quite disappointed when the Ur-Quan in orbit above our homeworld launched waves of fighters who intercepted all our missiles. The Ur-Quan explained that slaves were not permitted to engage in such destructive conflicts. So my people, being superior, introduced a super lethal poison into our opponent's water and air, thus ending the conflict. The Ur-Quan were not particularly happy about this resolution and killed all our leaders, which, under other circumstances, would have started a larger inter-Dragash war. But the Ur-Quan appointed new leaders, apparently chosen at random, and explained that further disobedience would result in the destruction of our species. Frustrating, huh? A foolish question. We are their slaves, dolt. What else would we be? When the Ur-Quan first appeared in our space, over 50 years ago, coming from the direction of the Ophiuchi stars, we attacked them with gusto, zipping in to fire our Mark 6 blasters, and then theoretically zipping back out to prepare for another attack run.
Oh no, Jeff, I didn't actually mention it. I just love listening to the Third Ash. So, but yeah, that's also why Nova. That's why that Trek gives you star dates. They have a standardized time that can be worked across multiple worlds. Using the planet standard is not necessarily a good idea, because how do you tell time? You're in an empire that's multi-world.
Not until 2143 that maintenance engineer Rion invented the afterburner effect. When he accidentally stuck his cigar in the aft fuel valve of the ship he was working on, ba-boom! The ship took off like a farm out of hell, and Rion was fried to a crisp. Yes, we remember Ryuk with much fondness. Of course, we have refined the device, and now that our entire fleet has been fitted with the Ryuk afterburners, perhaps now the Ur-Quan will let us fight at their side as true battle thralls. We wanted to. Oh, how we wanted to! After all, we were the first battle thralls the Ur-Quan enslaved in this part of space. We thought we had priority, but the Ur-Quan thought we were too weak to hold our own in the upcoming battles, so they left us here to guard the flank. If only we had been stronger and less troublesome. Another reason the Ur-Quan wouldn't take us with them was because we kept picking fights with the new battle slaves, like the Umdablabis or those religious idiots, the Ilrath. Where did they go, you ask? This is a secret, of course. We can't tell you. If we told you that they were fighting a secret war against a mysterious invader, you might find some way to use that information against our masters. So forget it. No secrets. Yeah, what? You say what? Foolish, pitiful, small-headed being. We will destroy you.
Well, now I have to kill a whole bunch of these guys. Oh boy. Ernie, do it, Ernie.
Worm. Dummy. Wimp. Dummy. Wimp. Idiot. Baby. Loser. Fool. Loser. Wimp. Dodo. Twit. Baby. Wimp. Jerk. Stupid. Fool. Twit. Baby. Wimp. Baby. Idiot. Stupid. Jerk. Twit. Worm. Loser. Stupid. Jerk. Moron. Dummy. Stupid. Twit. Baby. Idiot. Loser. Worm. Dummy. Twit. Wimp. Moron. Idiot.
Yeah!
Wimp. Moron. Idiot. Stupid. Fool. Jerk.
Ow!
Worm. Wimp. Idiot. Jerk. Idiot. Dummy.
Yeah, well, gotta commit genocide every now and then. That's how it is, bro.
Oh, what a laugh! You are the least battle-worthy creature I've ever seen commanding a starship. We are the Ur-Quan fight. Please don't run away. Brutal, you don't know the meaning of brutal until you've heard the story of Culture 3. How brutal was Culture 3, you ask? Culture 3 was so brutal that they maimed, tortured, enslaved, and in general brutalized themselves. You see, Culture 2 had made a virtue of stoic resistance to pain, stubborn fortitude, that sort of thing. So when Culture 3 came around, they had a problem. How were they going to impress everyone as being even tougher? Their answer? They would arrive at a battle, stand on a tall hill where everyone could see them, and chop off one of their own limbs. Then they'd wave it around, screaming and shaking it at their enemies. It worked. It scared the hell out of their opponents. They ran like crazy. You could tell who was a real war hero back then by how few arms or legs he had left. War berets were quite different too. Instead of sturdy old warriors walking slowly past their reviewing stands, they tended to roll, and at a good clip too. To you, an inferior alien, this may seem bluntly stupid, the product of a sick, primitive society. You couldn't be more right. Culture 3 was, as you can well understand, only the third Fladash culture, and was therefore far from the temperate perfection you have encountered here and now.
So the funny thing about these Radash is that you can easily manipulate them into doing dumb shit. This one is you can make them go and impress the Ur-Quan Masters and show off the Afterburner by attacking the Ur-Quan's enemy. It is a completely meaningless thing and allows you to actually dramatically weaken them. I don't actually like doing this one because I'm not going to do this option because I don't really want to waste the time. I'm running short on things that I need to do, so I'm just going to the ever-living snot out of them. And you have to spend a lot of time killing Fradash, by the way. You have to kill a lot of them. So Nova, something to consider. Any colony that's going to be... Again, this is something that you should actually really watch a lot of Isaac Arthur stuff because he's very, very good about this. But take into consideration that any colony that we would be sending out, at least in the near future, will be run by people who are part of the most advanced countries. It'll probably be the United States. And it will be populated by people who have a outlook on life that is particularly independent leaning and exploration based. I think that any colony that we set up, at least initially, is going to be very willing to listen and follow the rule of where they came from, at least initially.
Attention, weak, ugly humans, upward that wallowing garbage scourge.
Mostly because colonies are going to need the resources of their origin world for quite some time.
Hard to imagine. You already know who we are. We like secret weapons. We will now give you.
So when it comes to timekeeping, they will probably... It depends really on the nature of the world. So if you're on a world that's tidally locked, it's hard to tell time because there's really no rotation of the planet. You'll always be living in the twilight zone of the planet.
This is a...
Now you have to kill people more and more. Keep on killing. Oh, here I go, killing again. Oh, sorry. When it comes to timekeeping, Nova, any colony would probably have a local time and then, by reference, an Earth time. But it depends on the rotational period of the planet. If it is like, say, Mars, it'll probably be pretty similar, albeit their year is going to be longer. But if it's like Venus, where we'll probably be living in the Twilight Zone, how do you tell time? That's not necessarily true. We can colonize anything.
If our reports are accurate, we will test your puny, inadequate weapon with its 4-megawatt energy discharge. Nor can your slow weeding this. Then
This guy's good. This guy's pretty good. Pretty good. He's able to dodge my, He's able to dodge it for a while, at least. Just gotta keep blowing them up. Gotta kill them all. Weirdly enough, Venus is actually an easier prospect to colonize than Mars. So, something to bear in mind. Yeah. Kill more of them until they... So many dead, Pradesh! By the way, I also want you all to meet the alien race that's responsible for the creation of Rogan. That's these guys.
well, humans have some backbone after all, but not as much as the Ur-Quan. A human ship is a force. Your weapons do not have the killing power. The inferior bit. Then I...
Titan. Okay, I could see that. I would say Venus is still better, simply because it's closer. And it doesn't have a lot of the problems that would emerge from a low-gravity world like Titan. That's not to say that it wouldn't take a fuck ton of effort. It absolutely would. But, yeah. Titan's not a bad choice. I just don't know if it's the best choice. I just know that Mars is not all it's cracked up to be. I mean, that's great. It has methane as an energy source, but we don't necessarily... Europa's not a bad choice. It has a lot of water. Gotta keep killing. I just gotta keep on killing them. We'd have to make sure there's nothing living underneath Europa or Enceladus. Right? Is it Enceladus? It's one of the other ice-covered moons. Heat is not a problem. Heat is, and the atmosphere are not a problem. All you have to do is set up solar shades, and a lot of the atmosphere problems go away. Actually, the bigger problem with Mars is the lower gravity.
admirable! We have never witnessed such awesome combat capabilities. You have destroyed so many of us. We are humbled in your presence. We thought you were a weakling, a coward, a pitiful, sniveling wimp. We were wrong, so wrong. You have shown yourself superior to ourselves, indeed, even the Ur-Quan. We wish to learn from you, thus improving our culture. Give us your wisdom, mighty teacher. What is the secret to your success? Wait, I got it. It's the way you respond to our hailing calls each time we meet. Just as they say, first impressions are so important. So tell us, please, tell us how we should present ourselves.
I love how we have complete control over fucking with them. We can make them speak in Pig Latin. You could make them rhyme. Treat people the way we do. Try to be polite and friendly. Pig Latin is hilarious.
Isn't that where you take the first letter or two of a word, put it at the end, and then add an A at the very end? Let me try. Open stage and play. Iper pre ute aide. Hey,
Jeff, I can give more explanation here in a moment.
Without all that dreary studying. Just one question, great teacher. How do you say example in Pig Latin? Now that we understand the nuances of introduction, great teacher, we have an even more significant question. Your devastation of our battle forces has shown us that our Culture 19 is inferior to your own. Therefore, we will adopt your methods, your techniques. But what shall we name our new culture?
This is another great one. Glorious Slave Empire of Zelnik, Fat of Sherper's Jerks, which is really fun. I think you'll let them decide.
Wise, great teacher. It must reflect the profound changes in our social order. It must clearly explain the nature of our civilization. Yes, is Culture 20. We need to learn how to react in our...
Lighten up! Be wacky! Try to touch vids! Monty Python and the Marx Brothers!
I do not understand. We shall watch these vids of yours. We shall study them to learn to be...
Nova, they are more likely to be on normal, naturally formed moons.
We shall test our new to discuss...
I'm gonna speed through this because we've already seen all this crap. Alright, I can actually... now that this has been done, I think if I'm right, I can actually go back to Earth and I can actually fly for that ship. Okay. Jeff, so there are benefits and then there are negatives to low gravity. The biggest problem is that if you are trying to terraform a planet, low gravity is a problem because you lose more of your atmosphere. The biggest problem with Mars is not necessarily the dust, which it is a problem, but dust storms on Mars are actually not that damaging. The way that they're shown in media is actually very inaccurate because their atmosphere is so thin. It's the static electricity that it generates that causes a lot of the problems. But also it's the fact that the soil of Mars itself is poisonous. It's filled with perchlorates, which are horrible. Now, you can burn out those perchlorates, but you need energy to do it, and Mars is further from the sun. Now, I'm not saying that Venus' soil is any better. I mean, there probably isn't actually any soil. It's a volcanic hellscape. But energy to do things is more readily accessible in Venus than it is on Mars. Because it's closer to the sun, all of your solar cells are going to be a lot more efficient. But if you wanted to get rid of the atmosphere, all you have to do is set up a solar shade. And suddenly the lack of heat will cool the planet and make that supercritical carbon dioxide atmosphere actually begin to fall out of the atmosphere. It'll actually cool off to the point where the atmosphere will thin. And a lot of it will actually form out into solids and coat the surface. And depending on how cool you want it to be, you could make its entire atmosphere effectively do that. All that hydrochloric acid and sulfuric acid will just kind of, fall into a physical solid on the surface, which you can then cover. So, it's instead of trying to add energy to something, it's easier to take energy away.
Welcome back. Certainly. Bob,
Oh, that's weird.
return.
Yeah, I can buy a through dash torch. Yeah! And the Siren penetrators. Yeah, those are good too. I want one torch. Because they're funny. Actually, rid of that one. Rid of... I want to make a little room in the fleet. Okay. Torch. Actually, I do want a Siren penetrator. So let me... buy one penetrator. I mean, if you're gonna make a colony, there's no reason to not, at the very least, do something to make it more hospitable. And if you're talking about a planet like Venus or Mars, terraformation, it has to be on the table. Okay, so now I have the Perdash in my pocket. I need to now go steal from them. But I wanted to have at least one Thredash torch in my fleet. Caster and talk to the Normie real quick. Get some fuel up. Yeah, must do it. I mean, Elon Musk is...
Look out! Boy, what a close call. Captain, why did you try to run down that Keel Varese vessel? You almost smashed it into flinders. What? You didn't see it? Surely you... Oh, never mind. Now...
God, I love that. Hey, I mean, Elon Musk has done more to further space exploration than anyone else in our lifetime. So I hope he does do stuff.
114 units of biological
Oh, yeah,
data
absolutely, Jeff. You're correct.
downloaded from
It's simply a matter of have to make sure that that outpost is at least in some way self-sufficient, and that is extraordinarily difficult if you can't get people to live there. Okay. Full fuel. I think Elon Musk is a man who has the means to do great things, for better or for worse. So far, he's been doing things for the better, and I don't agree with everything he says, but I'm not required to. Oh yeah, Jeff, you're absolutely correct, especially for things like fuel production, taking asteroids and making hydrocarbon fuel and power and water especially. But yeah, you're absolutely correct. I'm not arguing that point. You are 100% correct. I will not argue that. They have their values. I mean, we're looking at a situation where places like Ceres and Vesta are almost certainly going to be some kind of major outpost in the belt. What interests me the most is that Elon Musk. Oh.
Snake. Ho yo ho! The super strong we Culture 20 bid you welcome. We orbit here guarding that most precious of our relics, that which we hold most dearly, that which has been at the heart of all our cultures, except for Culture 9, and they don't really count. We guard the object which transcends mortal realms, the Aqua Helix.
I'm expecting there to be some kind of industry on, definitely on the moon, because Voidborn industry is going to be great. I'm more thinking that it probably won't be Mars, but it could be. The atmosphere actually is harmful to the Mars concept, really. But it could definitely have something if we're willing to undertake the effort. I'm thinking that we're going to do a lot more things on rocks like Vesta or Ceres. That's my opinion.
The Aqua Helix is our most precious relic. For the totality of our historical memory, the Helix has been with us. It guides, motivates, and rewards. It is the twisty thing that launched 1,000 ships. It is the relic all our cultures have held most. Oh yeah, I said that already. We know the Aqua Helix is great largely because all our previous 19 cultures have known this to be true. If the Aqua Helix wasn't anything special, why would we spend so much blood and passion over the little thing? It would be a colossal waste. An absurd travesty. Actually, this is what Culture 9 said during their 2-week period of dominance before Culture 10 wiped them out. Anyway, we remain convinced. We are Thredash, and all Thredash know the significance of the Aqua Helix. Therefore, the Aqua Helix is great. The matter is resolved. Why, certainly. Go ahead and land on the planet and take a look at the relic we hold most.
I think they're making the point that they really like this thing, and we are about to steal it. As I land right on top of it. Captain, we have discovered some sort of alien shrine here on the surface. The building is immensely old, at least 2,000 years. Inscribed around the perimeter of the cylindrical shrine are innumerable hieroglyphs which document the history of each of the 19 Thredash cultures. From what we have seen, we have learned that the Thredash have risen to starfaring technology at least 3 separate times, only to nuke themselves back into the Stone Age again and again. The real surprise, Captain, was what we found inside the shrine. We knew the Thredash kept something down here, but we didn't know what it was. Until we went inside the shrine. In the exact middle of the structure was a tall dais of white stone. Set atop this dais was an immense aqua gemstone, somehow shaped into the flat, twisted ribbon, kind of like a DNA helix. The aqua helix emitted incredible light pulses, illuminating the cavernous shrine until, like a strobe light. At least it did until Private Hendricks decided to see what would happen if he grabbed the artifact. The helix immediately ceased glowing and remained quiescent ever since. Bring the aqua helix back aboard the ship for further investigation. All right, talk to you later, Nova. We're going to keep on playing. We've stolen the aqua helix. God, what's left? Have the 3 components of the Ur-Quan. I suppose we should go and say hi to the Supox and the Utwig, which is going to be the very last thing we do before we're at the final run to the end of the game. Oh, right. We have to get the Shafixi around to the Yihat to have their civil war. Jeff, you are correct. You do want to have your refueling within reasonable access. That is 100% true. I mean, the best case scenario is that your ship has the ability to refuel itself. I mean, I think that the likelihood of bigger ships is far greater than smaller ones, even if I like the idea of, the single ship, which regrettably probably is not very feasible in the grand scheme of things. Okay, let's see. But also, if you manage your movement in space, you don't actually need a whole lot of fuel. A object in motion, so to speak. Let's go say hi to the coolest looking race, the most aesthetically pleasing race. Ooh. Whoa. Whoa. There we go.
Greetings, fellow carbon creatures. May your roots always be well watered. I am Captain Allah Lala. We come in peace. Our starship is called the Tender Shoot. We are the Supox Utricularia from Earth. Oh yes, we apologize for the confusion. Our home world is also called Earth, or more properly, Lek, which means perfectly good and nutritious dirt. Earth is pretty close, is it not? We learn and we adapt. We are symbionts. Our first step in making friends is always to copy them. This is our idiom. Our kind evolved on a beautiful planet, orbiting the wonderfully green-hued star Roots. From the canopy of the great jungle to the shores of the azure seas, our species has flowered and grown well. Early in our evolution, we adapted to exist in symbiosis with other hardier life, both flora and fauna, who supplied us with nutrients, while we supplied them with reproductive assistance. Yes, this has been confirmed by our people as well. Strange, is it not? Many of our people regard this inconsistency as proof of our divine origin. We share this region of space with the Utwig, the wearers of masks. We have a strong cultural bond with the Utwig. They have been the foundation around which we have grown our starfaring culture. We are not only allies, but we are also friends. You should go meet with them. They could use some excitement. You see, they are a little depressed and morose right now. Usually they are most festive and fun. They broke their Ultron. The Druge, the cruel, foul trading race who sold the device to the Utwig, called the device the Ultron, and claimed that it would give the Utwig superpowers. Unfortunately, the Utwig believed the Druge and bought the Ultron. However, the device did make the Utwig very happy. Of course, we didn't tell them what we really thought of the Ultron. That they were vapid fools to buy a piece of junk for a planet's ransom. We went along with the falsehood, and in doing so showed our own stupidity. Then, one sad day a few years ago, the Utwig Proctor dropped the Ultron during a particularly energetic and festive ritual. Now the Utwig are morose and depressed. They feel they cannot ever achieve greatness because they lost the powers of the Ultron. They even gave the broken device to us, saying that they couldn't stand the sight of it anymore. We are worried that the Utwig are so depressed that they may use their ultimate weapon.
Oh, that's right. I have to get
Here, you take the Ultron. Maybe you can do something with it. We thought that if we could get the Ultron working again, it would cheer them up. So, we tried to figure out how to fix the darn thing, or at least get some of the flashing bits working again. But for all the Druge's falsehoods, the Ultron is some kind of artifact, and we could not synthesize the necessary replacement parts. Perhaps on your journeys, you will find the elements necessary to repair the Ultron. then you could give it to the Utwig, and maybe they wouldn't be so depressed.
Depressed. Depressed, Utwig. Alright. Okay, everybody. I am actually going to stop here. I'm going to go off and get some work done around the house. This is actually a really good stopping point because we are in the final moments leading up to the end of the game, and I think there are people who really want to watch this beyond just myself. So I am going to hop into hyperspace. I am going to save, and we will continue this another upcoming day. Thank you all so much.
Greetings.
Hold on. Thank you all so much for coming in and joining me, and I hope you all have a wonderful week.